Good morning and welcome to America's Home Cooking. Today I'm going to fry I have a package of chicken wings. I already rinsed them and patted them dry. Because of the time I grew up, this was a standard for us. What I'm going to do is I'm going to fry them up, but I'm going to use my discard to coat them. Most people just add salt and pepper and flour and fry them up, but I'm going to use my discard of salt and pepper. I'm going to be frying it up in corn oil. So I'm getting my discard together right now. And I've already explained to a lot of you, my discard is just extra sourdough that I haven't used. And I set it in a jar on the side and use the discard for everything else, but I use the sourdoughs to make my breads to rise. Especially sourdough bread. So there's a lot of different ways of doing things. And I'll show you, I got the discard right in here. Now I was going to use the chicken wings for chicken stock, but when I went to the butcher's, he said, I asked for some bones to make some stocks with. He said, I've got chicken backs for you. And I said, oh great, can I have some? He gave me a big bag. I said, well, I wasn't expecting that much, but it was really nice. So I've got them in the freezer. I'm going to have to take my deep freezer and I think turn it on. So I want to show you what he's got, what my butcher has, and I got 6 of them. They're a little expensive, but they're really nice. Hold on. I got porcine, P-O-U-S-S-I-N, porcine. Individuals. I look forward to cooking these. Tiny little birds. As tiny as they are, we should be able to eat the bones, you know. So I did salt and pepper. This is all I want on this because we've got another dish coming out that's going to be much different. And we're also going to have a soup with it. I'm going to make a fennel soup. I don't know if I showed you how to do that. Some things I can't remember. I just have so many things that I do. So I'll probably do a video on the a fennel soup. And by the way, it is so mild and so delicious and creamy. You would not be disappointed with it. Now see, I coated them. Most people just put salt and pepper and flour. Well, I'm going to coat these and take care of these. Now tomorrow, I'm going to make the stew from Spain. And I'm going to be using, what is it I'm going to be using? Oh, I can't remember right now. Oh, I'm going to brown it up in the lard that I made, because that one was beef. But they last for years if you can them, so they're really a good thing. Because these are small, I'm not using a big pot, I'm using a small one. I could fry 2 at a time and just take my time. And then I'll throw them in the oven to heat them up. So let's sift this flour and get it going. We need a bowl and a strainer. This is how we get rid of all the particles, see? Dump them, put them in your compost. No waste. And believe you me, with the prices, I spent $10 on eggs. Those are expensive. The milk has been stable, thank God, you know? But I went down 2 aisles and I had already hit $100. And I looked, I said, this cart isn't even full. When I was little, my mother spent $30. This is how bad inflation is. She spent $30 and her shopping cart was packed from the bottom to the top and mound. Food was plentiful. Since the Department of Agriculture and Management has come in, you can't do that anymore. You can't make deals and stuff like that. That's why some farmers are bartering. One grows the beef, the other one grows pork, and they sort of swap and share. That's the only way they can feed their families now. And I can understand that. I mean, I struggle. But anyway, if you like those little birds, Staten Island Meats has them, and they're one per serving, and they're really nice. And we'll dress them up really nice. Of course, I have some other recipes. I'll have to decide which recipe I want to make. Because I went to the store and there were no butchers except one, and he was doing ground meat, and I said, well, I don't need ground meat, I need other stuff. So I went there because it was just like 2 pieces of meat I needed a 3-pound chuck roast and a 4-pound chuck roast. They weren't coming out anytime soon. So I went there, and then he had the bones, the chicken bones. He got the beef bones. Oh my God, I was so happy. Now, I'm going to show you something. While this oil heats up before we do the chicken, I'll do some talking with you. Okay, where's that bone? Here it is. Yeah, it's here. People who get arthritis, I always talk about the gristle and you don't know what it does. This is a beef joint, okay? You see how big that bone is? That's bone marrow in there. Now if you take a look, you can see this smooth stuff here. This is what's between your bones. At either end of your bones, they have this, and it's called gristle. Now what it does is it moves, you can move your joints when that's there and it doesn't hurt. That actually keeps the pain away of bone rubbing on bone. Now if you don't eat right and you don't have the minerals and nutrients that you need, that wears over time. And as it wears down, even your spine, except your spine has a thicker coat of it, but as it wears down and you don't replace it, it comes to the point where you end up with bone on bone, even in your joints, your necks, your shoulders, wherever. This is where your arthritis comes from, because you don't eat right. You wear these down. But if you eat right, it's always replaced, so you don't have to worry about arthritis. This is why I've made it up to 71 without arthritis. Now, I was in a bad car accident. I almost broke my back. I mean, I went to the chiropractor every day. As soon as he adjusted my back, I would get up, it would pop right back out. It took me years. I went finally from 1 day to 2 to finally a week to 2 weeks to finally healed. And I don't have arthritis, and yet that should be one place I should have arthritis, but I always eat to make sure that, like when I have chicken, I eat those joints. That's where the gristle is as well. You can make stock if you get the bones with the joints like that, and you see that gristle, you pressure cook it, it'll break down, it'll be in the broth. You strain those bones, and then you can sit there and get it into your body. You can put it in your soups, your gravies, cooking rice, pasta, wherever there's liquid, you can add it. Does it ruin the flavor of your meat? No, it only enhances it. That's why I tell you that I crack the bones and suck the bone marrow out of the chicken legs, and I also scrape it out of the big bones and all. This is to keep these bones healthy. There is no reason for arthritis except poor dietary eating. Like I told you yesterday, I did the video and told you what calcium carbonate is and how it blocks insulin. It literally blocks your body from making insulin, and you need insulin. You know how many diabetics we have? And how many people buy bread in the store, buy pre-made cupcakes, cakes that are sitting on the shelves and stuff? That's it, because that's a preservative, so it keeps it fresh. It could be sitting there 2-3 weeks, and you think it's fresh. It's not. I make bread. I stick it in the freezer after it cools completely, because I want to make sure. Because I usually make 2, 6, 8 loaves, whatever. But I can leave my bread sitting out for 5 days. It is still fresh. You see? Now I remember when they started buying bread. I remember my mother quit making bread, and she started buying it, except if I was making it. And they said it's just like homemade. It was when it first started. But they've had years, different generations, and they want to make it as cheap as possible, preserve it, so they can sit there and hold it on the shelves and get money for it. And I did all that yesterday. I said I was going to go and do these things. So I'll write the chemical name, and then I'll explain exactly what it does to your body and what they use it for. And then you can make the decision if you want it or not. But if you eat a lot of homemade breads and stuff, the chances of diabetes coming into your family will be there. It interferes with other things, but I'm just concerned about the diabetes, so we'll leave it right there. And they said some people are highly sensitive to it. They make a liar. In other words, they're saying, oh, this is okay. You can eat this. Don't worry. We'll sit there and give you diabetic medicine and stuff like that. So as you can see, I'm just going to fry these very slowly. And that's how I'm going to be doing it. Just wanted you to see that I'm just got a small pot. I don't mind spending the day doing this cooking. Oh, I got the wash out there I've got to take care of too. Today's one of those days when I'm doing 2 to 3 things. But I'll be bringing this information to you. I'll walk through the store. I usually are in and out of the store, but I'll definitely read and check it out and let you know what's in the food, so when you go to the store, you can protect your family. And it is a choice if you want to, you know, still buy the bread or whatever. The stores will do anything. And when you go and start telling the truth like that, they go after you. And they'll use the papers to do that. But you have a right to know. Somebody's got to stand up and say, look, this is what's going on in our food. But see, I know you can freeze bread. I freeze mine sometimes for weeks on end, so it's not that the bread can't be frozen. That's why you had bakeries, and what they did was they made it, they paid the people to cook all night, and then that bread would be fresh during the day. I told you my mother used to drive to Houston, and once a week the plane came in. Wednesday night, they were there to pick up the orders that came from up north, all those exotic breads. We called them exotic because everything we could get was, you know, just basically white bread. And she would drive there to go get it. And when they ran out, they ran out. They only had to be open 1 or 2 days, but they made a lot of money. She took me one day. That's where I was introduced to whole grains. That's where I was introduced to bagel. I was introduced to, what else was there? I was introduced to sourdough. So I was very familiar with these. Oh, I loved going there. My mother didn't go all the time because she didn't always have the money, but she had it. We got up early, had to make sure we were some of the first people on the line. One time she didn't, and we were some of the last, and everything she wanted was already gone. So she realized, and she said, why? He said, because we fly it in from New York. So I'm going to continue frying this chicken, and I will show you when I am done, but that's what I'm doing. Okay, here they are. I fried up a whole bunch of chicken wings using my discard as like an egg wash, but I used salt and pepper, and then I floured them and did it, and you can see they're going to be crunchy. So listen, you take care and have a great day.